What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Friday, July 2nd, 2021. So, you know what that means? It is time for Rain in Real Time Fridays. If you have not done so already, be sure to like and share this stream on your social media platforms. I would greatly appreciate it. And let's see, who do we have in the chat so far? Dee the best. What's going on? You said you'll get off at 3:30. I know you're like an hour behind. Wayne Tillman, you said I hope one of my topics is about Soho Karen. It is going to be a topic, but it's not going to be discussed on this stream. I actually recorded a video for it for my main channel, and it'll be uploaded on there most likely sometime before the weekend is out. Tina, what's going on? Versatile Legacy, salute to you, Jamal, Letitia, Pinky, JYB, what's going on, everybody? Make sure that you like and share the stream. I would greatly appreciate that if you would do that. Just going around and sharing the stream on my platforms so people can come on over. How is everybody doing today? A lot of stuff has gone on. A lot of stuff went down this week. A lot happened this week, especially within the last couple of days for sure. Joseph Washington 007 Spidey 2. You said thanks for last week's panel. I had a great time. Oh, that's no problem. I'm glad that you were able to come through. You said you want your AirPods good. Yeah, this has been a very interesting week. Very interesting. Very interesting for sure. Just waiting on for some more people to come in. I know, like, on the first couple of minutes, it takes a little while for the people to start strolling on in. Oh, by the way, on this channel right here, I hit 1,700 subscribers on this channel. You know, the goal is to get it to 2,000. I don't know when it's going to happen because realize I only use this channel once a week. It's not like my main channel that I use every single day, with the exception of Friday because I'm going live on this channel. Nino Black, salute to you. But yeah, this has been a very a lot of news came out this week. A lot of news came out this week. Of course, we all know the biggest news to come out this week, of course, was the conviction overturning of Bill Cosby, and that's been like a big talk around the nation for the last couple of days, for sure. And then, of course, you know, that caused mixed reactions and whatnot, but it is what it is. How many people in the chat was watched the live that Nicole's View hosted on her channel? It was me, Harvey, Nicole, Gavin, and Drew Story News. How many people watched that? Because I know I saw some of you over there. That was a very good panel. That was a very good discussion that we had. And shout out to Nicole for having that. And I knew she was going to talk about it because she's been following this story for such a long, like since the beginning. Joseph, you said it's sad that Felicia Rashad had to step away from her support of Bill Cosby being released from jail. Actually, Joseph, she didn't actually stop supporting him. She actually didn't stop supporting him. Like, you have to like really read between the lines of what she said. She really didn't stop supporting him. The way they wrote it will have you thinking that she did, but she really didn't. Okay, so I see some people that who's in here right now who was over there. That was a very good live. That was a very good discussion. The thing is, I wasn't even originally a part of the panel that Nicole had lined up. So we're friends on Facebook. So I DM'd her and I said I want to be on it, and she sent me the link. And I'm just glad that I was able to be on there and give my input. That was a very nice flow of discussion. Like, we all gave our input when it came to this. And Nicole, listen, if you're listening right now, I know you got hit by a lot of trolls on Twitter because, Nicole, she put some tweets up and everything like that. I saw this one Karen, y'all gonna laugh at this. I saw this one Karen come to her post that she was talking about um with with the overturning of the conviction. And you had this one feminist Karen come into her tweet talking about how dare you? That's disrespectful, like to women and everything like that. Listen, the minute that someone starts hitting you with that women crap, I already know what type of time it is. And she started hitting her with that, and then she says, "You're disrespectful to your own kind." Excuse me? I'm very sure that Nicole knows that yes, she is a woman, but she is black first. So you can't hit someone like that with that your own kind and relate it back to her gender. Then he said they lucky I'm not on Twitter no more. I would have ran interference. I know, and then they probably would have ran you off on Twitter again. It's almost like you're a curse to a lot of these social media platforms. They got you on Twitter and on Instagram because um I know that we follow each other on Instagram and you had to go through multiple accounts and all types of restrictions on social media because um many people like the comments that you leave is deemed quote unquote controversial by the algorithm. Donna Seawood says, "Where are the feminists when Sandra Bland was murdered?" Good question. Oh, I know what happened, Donna. When they found out that Sandra Bland wasn't down for the Academy, that's when they all turned on her. In case y'all didn't know, Sandra Bland had a lot of support from a lot of women. Well, maybe not all the women, but a lot of women at first. But when they found out that she wasn't agreement with the Academy and their lifestyle, now mind you, that was just her opinion. They quickly turned their back on her and called her homophobic. A dead woman, might I add. I made sure to incorporate that in the one of the last commentaries I ever did about her, which I think was that documentary that her family had done like 3 years ago. What's going on, Jay Black? Vulcan 2054, Darlene. Jay Black. It said, crazy part is I don't be cursing anything but whatever. They won't shut me up that easy. Yeah, you're right. You don't be cursing. It's just that, like I said, you rub them the wrong way, and that messes with the algorithm, and they don't like that. What's going on, Bitter Truth Show? He said, never mind that they call straight men gay as an insult. Yeah, they do that. They do that. If they can't beat you in an argument, they'll come and attack your manhood. I said you're gonna have to go. You have to go a little bit more deeper than that. Like because the thing is, a lot of them are one trick ponies, so we can see their so-called insults coming a mile away because that's all they can come at you with. If they can't come after your manhood, then they'll start coming after, saying you don't like black women or all kinds of other stuff. I'm like, you're gonna have to try a little bit harder. Because the thing is, when you are a one trick pony, your insults never change. So we know what you're about to hit us with. So if we come at you with an insult, it's gonna be a blow. And the thing is, it might not even be a mighty blow. It could be something very subtle. What's going on, AB Media, Maximus Royalty? Okay, it is officially 4:10, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get this show started. Y'all know I like to do my little introductions for the first 10 minutes, and then we get into the stream itself. What's going on, Amara? He said, "What's up, Torian? He with the gourd. Thank you." Spotted Leopard, what's going on? So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen right quick. And the first thing we're going to watch is a video. It's been a long time since I shared a video on my channel, but we're going to share one today. And this time it's this Karen movie teaser. How many of y'all have heard about this? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard about this Karen teaser. I should see a lot of 1s flying up. So we're going to go and we're going to look at this teaser, as cringe as I know it's going to be. I actually meant to talk about this a couple weeks ago, but better late than never. So before we get into it, BET, as you can see right here on your screen, is releasing this movie called Karen. And when I saw that, I was like, ugh, okay. And Black, I know you are in the chat because we actually talked about this on Instagram, because I think you had posted it up as a story, and I replied to you in a message, and I was like, are they for real? And I think I asked you, would you watch it? And you said you wasn't sure or not. I said, I don't know if I would watch it or not. If I did, it would be out of pure curiosity to see what they're going to do with it. But I'm going to go ahead and play this teaser and try not to, to vomit, and go from there.
Guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby,
First off, hold on. Let me go back. First off, a film by Coke Daniels. Who the hell names their child Coke? And I'm not even gonna lie. When I saw that, I had to look again. I was like, did that thing say cock? But that person's name is Coke. But anyway, maybe that's a stage name. I'm not sure.
Guess this is a long way from East Point.
baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
Tell me about your new neighbors.
They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, hey, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist.
You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
That was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
When you got a hammer, everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Okay. So there it is. That's the whole trailer right there. And I had to go back and forth between looking at this trailer and looking at the comments to see what people was talking about. I can already know or tell that I'm probably not going to watch this. And based on this like to dislike ratio, it looks like over 52,000 people aren't going to watch this either. This thing has 9,200 plus likes and over 52,000 dislikes. And like someone said in the chat, this is going to have a lot of stereotypes in it. And yes, it sounds to me like they're trying to do a softer version of Get Out, even though Get Out, really didn't necessarily deal with this. I mean, the girlfriend and her mother definitely were some Karens, but that was before the Karen terminology was a thing. But my biggest question is why? What's going Ugh. Amara said white folks gonna be mad about this one. They may be, but the thing is, most of them probably won't even watch it anyway because like you probably will get some laughs out of it because someone said it looks like a sketch, and it does look like a sketch. Smoke Yankee said, "Well, of course, white people don't want to watch it because they don't want to watch anything that doesn't make them feel like they're perfect." Nino said, "Get Out was an Oscar-worthy film compared to this, and ironically, it did win an Oscar." D.S. Simpson said, "BET purposely throwing out all of the racial tropes in this movie as if we need to have a rehash of real life." He said, "Who thought this BS was okay?" Apparently, the people over at BET and whoever this Coke Daniels person is. Now, I do recognize the main lead actor, the black actor. If y'all don't know, let me see if I can go back and freeze onto his face. Let me go back. If y'all don't know who this guy is, that is Amari Hardwick. That is Tia Mowry's husband. I recognize who she is because I've seen her in some other things. I can't think of her name. And I forgot who they said the white actress is who's playing Karen. I think they said she's from SNL. The actress who's playing the Karen. I think they said she's an SNL actress. That's all I needed to know. JK said he's on The Shy. I don't watch The Shy anymore. What's her face? Lena Waithe? She ruined The Shy for me. Joseph Washington, I'm over the Purge series, but I am looking forward to Candyman. I do want to see what they're going to do with the reboot of that story. Dino Black said, "I recognize her. She's from my dreams." But yeah, this would be a hard pass for me. The last movie that I watched on BET that was good was the New Edition story. That was very good. BET actually did something right by that one. Mainly because all the guys in New Edition are still here and they were able to put their input in. That was good. The Bobby Brown story was good. I don't think it was better than the New Edition one, but the fact that they used the same actor who played Bobby Brown, I like that. But those two were probably the last two good movies that I watched that was a BET produced film. You said, "Oh, the Karen she played on Orange is the New Black." I never watched Orange is the New Black. So you said that's where she's from. Okay, well I thought she was from SNL. But I think I will definitely pass on this. I'm sure somebody out there will watch it and they'll review it and then I'll watch it. Something just tells me they're probably gonna laugh throughout the entire review and they're probably going to be disgusted that it even was a thing. The only good thing about this movie is that they're not releasing it into a theater. They're not putting it on Netflix. Leave it right where it is. Like I don't know what made them come up with this idea to make this movie. Because I'm not watching it. I think that the common consensus from those in the chat who are listening right now are not going to watch it either, and that just shows that we are still functioning with both sides of our brains. So with that being said, I'm going to move off of Karen and move on to the next topic. Joseph Washington said, "Has anyone seen Fast 9 yet?" No, and I'm over that series as well. I'm done with the Fast and Furious series. I just am. I'm over it. But the next thing I wanted to talk about is OnlyFans. So, apparently OnlyFans says that they are seeking a $1 billion valuation and may get rid of sex work. Well, that's a good 99.9% of their base gone right there. Because that's what most people use OnlyFans for now anyway. And in case y'all didn't know, OnlyFans was originally supposed to be a competitor for YouTube. Let me say that again. In case you did not know, OnlyFans was supposed to be a competitor for YouTube. Like that was supposed to be the new YouTube. But people used it and made it a competition for places like Pornhub. Yeah, like YouTube, like OnlyFans was supposed to be like a place where people who like, if they got tired of the restrictions that happen on YouTube, they could go over there and put their content up. But then people took it and used it for porn and sex work. And that's what OnlyFans literally became. And then, with the pandemic happening last year and people could not work, OnlyFans really, 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 really shot off. Now, here's the thing. I knew about OnlyFans way before last year. I knew about OnlyFans when it wasn't popular. Like I knew about OnlyFans when only a few people were using that site. But when Woovit hit and people could not work, then that's when OnlyFans spiked in usage and spiked in subscriptions. Now you have people, like you have regular everyday people making and putting sex tapes on there, to the point where now you also have people who were in the porno industry putting porn on there. And also you have big time celebrities, like people that you've listened to music, you've seen in music videos, seen probably in movies and television, putting content on OnlyFans that involves sex. So now they shaking. They shaking right now because they might get rid of a huge part of their base. Let's see here. The site is known for its adult entertainment, but it's reported that they are considering switching things up to attract advertisers. Doesn't that sound a lot like what YouTube has been doing for the last, I don't know how many years? So basically, they're saying sex work does not attract advertisers. See, that's the thing. That's the trick bag. They're getting too big now, and people want to put ads on the site. And OnlyFans has to make an executive decision and go where the money is. And if sex work is not where the money is, as far as their advertisers who will pay them more money, then you got to go. Because the advertisers are not going to put their ads next to people fucking or doing whatever it is that they're doing. So to protect their bottom line, they're going to have to cut the fat. The OnlyFans boom helped thousands of people survive losing their jobs during quarantine, but it's reported that the site may be changing up its policies in the near future. Throughout 2020, OnlyFans became the place to be for people involved in sex work of all types, from nude photos to hardcore pornography. People, including celebrities, have capitalized off of the subscription-based site, but according to new reports, OnlyFans may be getting rid of their risque content altogether. Bloomberg released a report this week stating, OnlyFans is seeking that coveted billion-dollar valuation, and in order to do so, they may need to make themselves more attractive to advertisers. So they want to reach billion-dollar status. So now they have to, quote-unquote, gentrify the site. Unfortunately for the company, it's reported that they are allegedly struggling to find major advertisers due to their pornographic content. OnlyFans has also become a place where celebrities can connect with fans for a price, and is proven lucrative for those with dedicated fan bases who want personalized messages or even brief chats with their favorite artists or sports figures. It's Understood that tens of thousands of people are making money without ever getting naked, yet still OnlyFans has developed a global reputation as being the go-to spot for adult entertainers. If the company opts to rid itself of sex workers, some suggest that it would do more damage than good. Someone said OnlyFans removing adult content, some people's income is about to be in shambles. What will you OnlyFans entrepreneurs do when they start removing news of pornography from their platform? OnlyFans removing pornography when that's what made the platform the most money is actually wild as fuck. Not OnlyFans talking about removing pornography to get more advertisers, y'all about to be unemployed. LMFAO. OnlyFans clearly hasn't learned where their bread and butter is. Learn from Tumblr and their mistake removing porn. I'm gonna start right there. That person actually has a point. I forgot all about Tumblr. Tumblr was a place that started off like OnlyFans where people can post their content or everything because Tumblr was trying to do. I'm not sure if they were trying to be another YouTube, but they were another site. All of Tumblr was like pre-Snapchat, pre-TikTok, and all stuff like that, where you can post little clips and whatnot. But then what happened was Tumblr did the same thing that OnlyFans is doing right now, and that was allowing to post porn on their site. And now, because Tumblr did what OnlyFans is planning to do, Tumblr, no one really uses that anymore. And that's the whole article right there. So while I agree that OnlyFans is doing this, yes, for a business move, now they got to really question it. Will it be the smart move? Because it's not like they're not going to be able to find another site to go and do this. Because there's another site out there called Just for Fans, which is basically OnlyFans Junior. They basically post the same thing, same kind of material over there. And quiet as it's kept, Twitter, it be porn posted on Twitter. I don't know if y'all have ever come to know that, but Twitter, they post porn over there. If you are a sex worker or stuff like that, people be posting their little porno clips on their Twitter accounts, and Twitter never shuts them down. And see, the reason why YouTube was able to thrive so hard and for so long, even through their controversies, is because they were able to nip their stuff in the bud before it got out of control. See, the thing is with OnlyFans, they were so happy to get all of that revenue from the people that was using the site, on the people that were subscribed to the people who were using the site, that they didn't realize what was about to come around the corner. So now they're in a dilemma. They don't know what they're going to do. But they better hope that their grand move is their best move. So they got a decision to make. A, leave it the way that it is, or B, make the changes and run the risk of your site dying. Even with all the advertisers, because even with all them advertisers you get, it won't mean nothing if they don't have people using it. Because if people don't use it, the advertisers are going to pull out anyway. Bitter Truth said mini vids. Yeah, that's another one. That's another OnlyFans, just for fans type site. But let me go on now to the next story. And that's this Spencer Finch story. Who's heard about this? Who's heard about this story right here? I'm sure many of you have. In case y'all have not heard, Spencer Finch is this palm colored, I swear he looks like a big ass toenail, a toe. That's what he looks like. He looks like a toe. And he was the cop, he was the palm colored terrorist that attacked this black man when all he was trying to do was go see his kids. Many of you have already seen the video. I'm not sure if the video is attached to this article or not. If it is, I'll play it. If not, it is what it is. But This article was posted June 30th, which was 2 days ago. It says Patterson mayor moves to fire cop charge in unprovoked attack on a black man. And it was unprovoked. I saw the video. He just like walked up to this guy, said some things to him, started and kicked up dust, and then started assaulting this guy for no reason. This guy, the black man he attacked, like I said, he was just going to go see his kids or come get his kids. And he just out of nowhere just attacked this man just because. Like, it's not like it was a call made for an investigation to be done to come see this guy about some suspicious activity. He just happened to see this man and just attacked him for no reason. Anyway, it says the mayor of Paterson, New Jersey, Andre Sayegh, I probably butchered his name, moved to fire a cop on Wednesday after he was caught on camera delivering an unprovoked beating to a resident during a domestic dispute. The move came after a coalition of community organizations, including Paterson Black Lives Matter, demanded Officer Spencer Finch to be kicked off the force. He needs his ass to be kicked. Police body camera footage of the May 26th incident. So this happened in May. And we're just now hearing about it over a month later. Ever notice that whenever stories like this happen, they always are late to report it? They did the same thing with Ahmaud Arbery, because when he was murdered, he was killed in February of last year, and we didn't learn about it until like early May. Same with Breonna Taylor. She was killed in March. We didn't learn about it until right around the time George Floyd happened. And that was the end of May. It says police body camera footage of the May 26th incident released by the mayor's office shows Finch, who was white, attacking an unidentified unarmed black man who was talking on the phone in the hallway of a residential building. This is the third time my kids have been taken away from me, the man said before Finch hit him in the head, rubbed him up, and cuffed him, as residents of the building were heard pleading with the officer to stop. While the man sat on the floor with his hands restrained behind his back, Finch forcefully kneed him in the face. Video released by the mayor's office and published by the outlet showed Finch, 44, of Mahwah, was suspended and charged with official misconduct, aggravated assault, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and tampering with public records or information in connection with the paper. Now, here's a screenshot. I thought it was going to be the video. Here's the screenshot or a thumbnail from the attack. This is Spencer Finch, and this is the black guy right here who he's assaulting. It's unclear if Sayegh will have to wait to see if Finch is convicted before he can be fired, as has traditionally been the case in the city, according to the report. It was deplorable what I witnessed, Sayegh said at a press conference Monday. WPIX reported, and intolerable. That's why we reached this point. Hours before the announcement, the coalition of community groups reportedly released a statement calling for Finch ouster. Community leaders and residents of Black and brown communities have not only had to deal with trauma that comes with experiencing in police violence, they also have to constantly deal with the trauma of witnessing those that do harm not being held accountable, the 40 organization said to the Paterson Times. Finch lawyers Anthony J. Laculo reportedly accused the mayor of bowing to political pressure to violate the cop's contract. This mayor's conduct should concern all people as a human being is being deprived of his livelihood prior to a hearing or a trial in a court of law, Laculo said, according to a published report. I'm going to say this right now. Fuck this dude's livelihood. He put his livelihood at jeopardy the day that he decided he was going to put hands on this man for no reason. That's why I cannot stand lawyers who are on the defense when it comes to cases like this, because they will come up with any damn thing to try to make an excuse for what their client did. And usually it's some bullshit excuse like the one you just heard. Fuck his livelihood and fuck him. And as while we're at it, fuck that piss poor attorney that made that comment. Ayman Abushi, the city's top lawyer, told WPIX the move to terminate Finch, who has been reportedly accused of excessive force 4 previous times. So this is not his first ride at the rodeo, and I'm not shocked by that. but four previous times. So this is his fifth time doing something like this. Is legally sound. The officer will be afforded all the due process necessary to him under the law as any individual, and I firmly believe that we will be victorious at the end of the process, Abushi said. Local activists told the station that Finch's alleged misbehavior is just the tip of the iceberg. There are other officers on this Patterson Police Department who have excessive force complaints against them, who have lawsuits against them, and we keep them on the force, Zelly Thomas of the Black Lives Matter Patterson chapter reportedly said. That is a problem. Finch, a 17-year veteran, is the 11th Patterson cop to face criminal charges over the past 3 years. Finch reportedly has 5 days to contest his termination. '11th cop in 3 years. 11th that has had complaints about misconduct. And this is his 5th time for doing something like this, but apparently it's the first time that he actually might face consequences for it. And let's not forget the mantra. They don't get fired, they get transferred. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in another precinct, in another department, in another county somewhere, even in the same state of New Jersey. Like, he just ran up on this dude and just attacked him just because he wanted to attack a black man that day. And it makes you wonder who else he's attacked. I'm willing to bet they were black as well. But they give them a cover. They cover up their bullshit. I'm just looking at the comments and seeing what y'all talking about. Bad Case said the amazing Lucas covered him. This guy's disgusting. I mean, what makes it worse is he's trying to see his kids, and this is what he gets. Man, it's a cold world. Exactly. And it's already a stigma on black men that they don't take care of their kids. And this guy's trying to see his kids, and apparently there's an issue going on with probably him and the baby mama, because he said this is the 3rd time he's trying to see his kids. So apparently it's something going on with them and whatever they got going on. But he's trying to see his children be a good dad, and this is what he has to deal with. Okay. Let me move on to the next story. We're moving along quite good. We actually got 3 more stories left to cover. Woo! Okay, let's get into this. How many in the chat did not watch the BET Awards? Put a 1. Put a 1 in the chat if you didn't watch it. If you did not watch it. And I did, but if you didn't, put a 1 in the chat if you did not watch the BET Awards. That's my 1 right there. I gave you a 1. I can't tell you the last time I watched that show in its entirety. I completely forgot that it even came on until I saw it trending on Twitter. I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. I watched some videos and people was talking about it, those who, deal with celebrity gossip and whatnot, they talked about it and gave the take on it or whatever. But the biggest talk, or at least one of the biggest talk of this particular show and this program, was this character right here. I can't even bring myself to call this person a human being anymore. This character, because that's all he is, this caricature. Known as Lil Nas X. So as you can see, I couldn't just bring up one picture of him. I had to bring up a whole damn collage so y'all can get a glimpse of him. So you have this character, this caricature, who first off, he came to the BET Awards wearing this gown that looks like it was made out of newspaper. And I don't know if he's trying to activate his inner silly Porter or what have you. But there he is on the red carpet. But what really got people was his performance of his song. And what made it even bad for me was they said that this performance, because he had an Egyptian theme, and they said he was out here performing or giving homage to Michael Jackson's Remember the Time video, which we all know is like one of the most iconic music videos of all time. I actually on the anniversary of his death, I made a poll. I said, what video did you think had the best breakdown choreography between Thriller and Remember the Time? And of course, Thriller did win, but not by a huge margin. But I also had Remember the Time up there as well. I think it was like 56 to 42%. But this is what he said he paid homage to, and I was like, oh, Michael Jackson is rolling. He's spinning in his grave right now. I can't just say rolling over. He's spinning in his grave right now. But he did this performance, and in the performance, he ended up kissing one of his backup dancers in the mouth. If I'm not even going to zoom in on it, but if you look at your screen on the first row and look, if you look on your screen, look on the second row and look to the far end to the last picture on the second row, you can see it. And it's crazy. I said this was all planned anyway. You know, June was quote unquote Pride Month. Lil Nas X is out here just flaming like a bag of hot Cheetos. And speaking of flaming, he does have flames in the background of his little set. And he did that. But what got me also was you had mainly the women in the audience that after he performed, and preferably after he did that kiss, you had all the women in the audience get up and cheer this man loudly. What if I told y'all about a lot of women, in this case, black women, being supportive of that academy and how destructive that could be for you? Vampire Hunter said, if you have not seen Bug Breaking It is the Truth, I have watched it. I did watch it. Me and Nicole actually did a review on this particular channel a couple weeks ago. If you have not watched it, I would highly suggest that you do. But you had a lot of them getting up and cheering loudly. And they made sure to put the camera on every last one of them to make sure that you know they were seen. Because you know, if you didn't stand up and clap, that meant you were homophobic, right? You didn't know that, right? You did you know that? If you didn't stand up and clap for that, they would deem you as homophobic. But then, of course, you had the Academy on Twitter talking about, you know, if you didn't like it or had something negative to say, they said you were this and that phobic. That's another talking point that they can no longer get us on. I mean, they can try, and they still are trying. At this point, it's kind of amateurs and watered down, and it's like, okay, whatever. Then they say, well, y'all wouldn't say anything if it was a man and a woman on stage kissing. Actually, we probably would. Because I remember when it was a few BET Awards ago. When I mean a few, I do mean way back. When I say way back, I'm talking about I might have still been in high school when this was on. And it was a performance that Jamie Foxx and Fantasia had did. And in the middle of their performance, they literally kissed right there on the lips. uh on the stage, and that caught a lot of people by surprise. Now, this was before Fantasia was with her husband that she's with now, and this was back when Jamie Foxx was still single. So it wasn't like they were like cheating on each other, or they were cheating on each other's spouses, or whatever the case may be. But when that happened, people was like, "Huh? Where did that come from?" But that was one of the excuses that they wanted to use, and they were saying, "Well, if y'all don't like it, then it's like, okay, we get it. You're a part of the academy. You're out. You're proud. Okay." You even had people in the academy call this behavior out. There was a video that went out of this guy who's in the academy, is a black man in the academy, and even he was saying how he didn't like, what Lil Nas X did. He's like, okay, we get it. You're in the academy. You're a gay man. Why are you doing this? Like, what are you trying to prove? What are you doing? Now, the kicker about the person who made that video, and I didn't find out until I saw someone write it in the comment section, is the person who made that video uh making that complaint is Kwame Brown's first cousin. How do we know this? Because I went to his page and he posted up a video of Kwame Brown, and he said in the comment section that that was his first cousin, and Kwame Brown even commented in the comment section to confirm that. So even when you have people that is in that community calls out this behavior, then you know it's a problem. And you want to know what's even crazier about that? In that same video in the comment section that he made, or even when it was posted on Twitter, because that's where I first saw it at, you had people in the academy trying to tell that man that he was homophobic. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy's a homosexual just like you, and you're trying to say that he's homophobic because he didn't agree with Lil Nas X did in his performance. These people are absolutely out of their minds. And one person they don't like is Flame Monroe. Who knows who Flame Monroe is? They really don't like Flame Monroe. If y'all don't know who Flame Monroe, this is a person that they're basically a drag queen. I wouldn't say they are transgender because it's a person that still, as far as I know, has their parts. But they are definitely a drag queen. And they went on the Breakfast Club a couple years ago and was basically saying the same thing, like saying that it's a bad look for the community that you're trying to push this agenda on people who are deemed as heterosexuals. Like they said, just know there is something called boundaries. I'm just paraphrasing. There is something called boundaries, and y'all are stepping over those boundaries, and that is what forces people away from the community, and that's what forces people or forces them to not have allies. And something along those lines, they got they got mad at him for saying that. Yeah, if you go online, if you go onto YouTube and type in Breakfast Club Flame Monroe and look at the interview, it's in there and you'll see for yourself. The Alucard 7997, yeah, it said 5150. Yeah, even Corey Holcomb has mentioned Flame Monroe on 5150 a couple of times. So even he knows who Flame is. Nino said they blackball Flame on the LGBT community. I wouldn't be surprised because they don't go along with their agenda. They listen, Flame Monroe knows that they are a gay man that moonlights as a woman because they're a drag queen. But they also know what is being pushed. So this is a person that has common sense. Now I'm gonna put it like this. Those kind of people in the academy, those are the kind of people that people who are heterosexual can vibe with because they know that they're not going to try to force anything on them. But the problem is, and like Flame Monroe said, and like Kwame Brown's cousin said, too many are pushing this in our faces. Like, we get it. You live, this is the lifestyle that you live and that you lead. It is what it is. But the problem is now is not only have you brought your lifestyle to the forefront and push it in our faces, now you have taken it a step further and put it into our schools. You are now putting it in the faces of our children. And you're forcing it on them and making them take classes like LGBT studies. And then if you don't take the class, then you'll fail. It was a story I did a couple years ago about some kids overseas, I think in the UK, where the teacher was trying to make them take this class. Mind you, it wasn't even, I don't even think the class was in the curriculum, but they were trying to have them take some kind of course about the academy and the history of the academy. And two of the kids rejected it, and those two kids got suspended. I remember that story vividly. And a major thing, and I'm glad Hood Mistress said that. Too many people who are in the academy are off code as fuck. And what I mean by that is many of them will put their lifestyle before their blackness. Look at that Preston Mitchum person I had to do a video on my main channel when that girl got attacked at that white gay bar that they should not have been in considering their racist history. He had the nerve to separate black men from gay black men as if they aren't black themselves. They said it wasn't black men that saved or helped this woman from being attacked in this bar. It was gay black men that did it, and made sure to put gay in all caps. I'm like, you do realize that these are black men at the end of the day. They just decide they're attracted to the same sex. Vulcan 2054 says, how can a gay person be homo? Explain that to me. Please explain that to me. Because I'm trying to figure that out. But like I said, I think it really boils down to a lot of them in that community are off code. They love to say black people are the most homophobic. I swear, whenever a topic about that academy comes up, that tagline usually is somewhere following behind it. Being homophobic means that we would have to be scared of you, and we're not scared of you, but we're going to call out your fuckery at the end of the day. It's just that you want to let your behavior and a lot of the stuff that you do just slide. And the thing is, a lot of the times we're not even being disrespectful when we say, look, that's right or that's wrong, or in most cases that's wrong. So some people may not agree with your lifestyle, but it's not like they want to go out here and go out and voluntarily hurt you. Then you have people like that Sydney Star that does that stealthing with black men, and they don't call that out. You just had this black man who killed this so-called T-class member for tricking them into almost having sex with them. But they want to say that that's transphobic, and I'm like, okay, let's put this all together. If a lot of the times that people who are quote unquote trans are getting killed by men, and it's usually because of a sexual encounter that's almost about to happen, then what really is it? Is it because they didn't like that person who was trans, or because that person who was trans was stealthing? Or I think that's what Jason Black calls it. I'm willing to go with the latter rather than the former. After all, Sydney Starr said that they should have been dead for all the stealthing they've done over the years. After all, Sydney Starr was the one that caused Chingy's career to go down the toilet. Like, it's so many moving parts to this. It's ridiculous. And many of them still haven't called out Ed Buck. Had two black men who were gay go to his house, and both of them end up dead. But you want to say black people are homophobic? You had legislation that's trying to ban you from doing certain things, even though, to be quite honest, a lot of that stuff you shouldn't even be doing anyway, like trying to compete in women's sports. But black people are the most homophobic. I'm gonna do a video on this, but I'm gonna talk about it briefly here. You just had this woman out of this person out of Nevada who was the quote unquote first trans woman to win Miss Nevada State or Miss Nevada USA. So now they're gonna go on to compete in the Miss USA pageant. A whole person born as a man who now lives as a woman beat out natural women in a beauty pageant. But I'm gonna save the rest of that for the video that I recorded. I don't want to give it all away here. Oh, get ready, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. And I told y'all, I warned you. I warned y'all way back when. I said, once one gets in, that's a wrap. That is it. But see, when people want to be all inclusive and they want to do intersectionality bullshit, this is what happens. But now I got that out of the way. Let's move on to the next story. And that is of Britney Spears. Who knows what's going on with Britney Spears? Can someone tell me in the chat what is going on with Britney Spears? Because I know what's going on. Well, maybe not every single thing because I haven't really been following it like that. But I know Kimberly Frazier, she did a video talking about this a couple days ago, and I listened to most of it. I haven't listened to the entire thing because it's a lengthy video talking about her conservatorship. In case y'all didn't know, Britney Spears has been living under something called a conservatorship for the last 13 years. And basically, a conservatorship is when someone basically has complete and full control over your life and every aspect of it. And the person who has her under conservatorship is her dad. Because back in, I think it's 2008, that's when the conservatorship began. And basically, it all came about because remember back in I would say like the mid to late 2000s, Britney Spears was going through a crisis. Like I remember she had ran into a barber shop and she took some clippers and shaved her head bald. She attacked this car with an umbrella. She went into some random tattoo shop and got a tattoo. So people was like, okay, what's going on with this woman? Like she's acting kind of psychotic right now. Like what's really going on? And there's like literally a whole documentary on YouTube if y'all want to watch it that really breaks down every single detail of this from beginning to where it's currently at right now. But basically, she's in a court battle where she's trying to get out of it. She's trying to get out of the conservatorship that her dad has her on. Because with that conservatorship, she has no access to her money. None of it. If she does spend money, she can only spend a certain amount of it. They have to know what she's spending it on. If she goes on a trip, they have to know where she's going and for how long she's going. If she goes to the store, they have to know what she's buying and why she's buying it. Now, here's the one that really got me. Now, this one right here was like, made me look at it like, whoa, it went that far? They actually made Britney Spears put an IUD device in her vaginal region just so she would not get pregnant. Because under the conservatorship, she cannot have any kids. Y'all heard that correctly. They made her put an IUD device in herself, get it installed, so she could not have children or run the risk of having kids. And that's how it's been for the last 13 years. So basically, she went to court. She basically gave a testimony and everything like that to try to get this thing lifted. And I think it's slightly going in the right direction, but it's not moving as fast as they would hope that it would go. So basically, in a way, Britney Spears is a slave to her family. Exactly, vampire. She cannot reproduce. She, of course, we already know she has like 2 or 3 kids now, but at the moment she can't have any more. And I think they said that, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said she is in a relationship with some guy. I'm not sure if I heard that correctly or not. But even with that, the guy that she's in a relationship with, I don't think that they can even live in the same house. So she can't really be in a true relationship, so to speak. And if she's allowed to go see uh the person that she's with, that she's dating, whoever the case may be, they can only be together for a certain amount of time. Yep, Nino and Vampire, y'all made a good point. She did make a song back in the early 2000s called Slave for You. It's ironic what cryptic messages you can find in a lot of these pop songs that you just listen to and you sing and you don't realize what the meaning is until you fast forward to today. Because if you remember one of her biggest songs, Baby One More Time, one of the lines in that song is, "My loneliness is killing me." I listen to that line a whole lot differently now that I know her situation. So when people started that hashtag called Free Britney, I'm like, Free Britney from what? I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm like, is she in jail? That was my first initial reaction. I was like, is she in jail right now? Like, what's really going on? And then I found out it was this. I said, oh shit, I would rather be in jail than have to deal with this. And you want to know what's so crazy? And I actually posted this up on my Twitter account. The judge presiding over Britney Spears' conservatorship case is another woman. I said, so much for that sisterhood. Not a man, not a male judge, but a female judge is handling this case. But yeah, that, like, all in all though, that is like, I can honestly say that I'm not as a crass person as people might think, because I do my I feel nothings and the triple P's and whatnot. Though that's a lot of that's for entertainment anyway. A lot of the time it is actually true when it comes to certain people. But in this particular situation, this is a very messed up predicament, because you literally have no freedom. You literally are like in a cage. Exactly, Great Black Shark. It is cold blooded. Like, you gotta think, this woman is in her early 40s and she's been on lockdown for 13 years since she was in her early 30s. I couldn't imagine being in a situation like that where I had no access to my money. I couldn't go really anywhere. I'm basically living in a cage that has no bars, but I still feel like I'm locked up. At this point, I would probably rather be in quarantine than in that situation. Necessary said this could drive someone to suicide. And you know what? Suicidal thoughts probably has entered her mind several times while doing this, but she probably figures that would be the easy way out. She said, she probably said, I'm gonna see this being through to the end. Because to be honest, I have never heard of something like this before, ever, for any celebrity. I've never heard this before unless there has been some out there that occurred and I've never come across it. But this one right here, they made sure to make this public. Okay, everybody, I have one more story to cover on the channel before I end the stream. Now, y'all know I like to do this because I like to see if y'all gonna guess it correctly. Who can put in the chat with the last story I'm going to talk about today? I want to see if y'all going to guess it. And yes, if you have not hit that like button, make sure that you smash it. Who can tell me what the last topic of today is going to be? Nino Black said Cosby. DS Sinester said Aunt Viv. J Black said Cosby. DJ Elmo said Mr. Huxtable. Nino said Aunt Viv specifically. Great Black Shark said Mark Lamoise Hill. Stephanie said Felicia Rashad. Joseph said Cosby. Yes, I already talked about Spencer Finch. DJ Elmo said save the best for last. Well, to everybody who said Cosby, let me just say this right now. That was a good guess. But all of you would be wrong. The last thing I'm going to talk about is Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, all of y'all have to know what just happened with Sha'Carri Richardson. Right? I'm going to assume all of you are aware about what just happened with Sha'Carri Richardson. Right? If y'all have a Twitter account, I know y'all know. So in case y'all did not know or have not heard, and I don't know how you would have missed it because it just happened today, and it's been trending all day, is that Sha'Carri Richardson, who was literally a headliner, a head runner in the 100-meter dash for the Olympics in Tokyo to get the gold for America, has been suspended for a month because she tested positive for weed. And her month-long suspension runs into the exact date that she was supposed to run in the 100-meter dash. So now she will not be able to compete in that event. However, she most likely will be able to compete in the relay, which I think is August the 5th, which is after her suspension is over. But that's besides the point, because this is the one that people was really wanting her to be in or wanted to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this clip from the Today Show where she was being interviewed about what happened.
So tell me, what happened? What led up to this positive test?
Just honestly, I want to take responsibility for my actions. I know what I did. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm allowed not to do, and I still made that decision. But not making an excuse or looking for any empathy in my case, but just, however, being in that position of my life, finding out something like that, something that I would say is probably one of the biggest things that have impacted me positively and negatively in my life when it comes to dealing with the relationship I have with my mother. So that definitely was a very heavy topic on me, and people don't understand what it's like to have to, or people do. We all have our different struggles. We all have our different things we deal with. But to put on a face, to have to go in front of the world and put on a face and hide my pain. Like, I don't know, who are you or who am I to tell you how to cope when you're dealing with a pain or you're dealing with a struggle that you've never experienced before or that you've never thought you would have to deal with. Like, who am I to tell you how to cope? Who am I to tell you that you're wrong for hurting? So I think just honestly, just leading up to that, dealing with my mental health, dealing with my mental as is with leading up to the games. Every time stepping on the track, definitely expected to be a record-breaking time or something like that. So just with that, pressure in itself was also just another thing. With this actually been my first full professional career, my first full professional circuit this year due to the pandemic. So just considering all of that put together, long time, my agent, my sponsor, my sponsorship, my family, knowing me dealing with all of this during time. So,
Sha'Carri, I just want people to understand where you're coming from, and tell me if this is correct. But it was a few days before your big race in the trials, you found out that your biological mother had passed away. You found out when a reporter told you, and it was after that you ingested some kind of marijuana. I should mention, you were in Oregon. It's legal in Oregon. You didn't violate any law, but it was against the rules of your sport. And as you said, you knew that. But is that what happened? Is that how this unfolded?
Honestly, yes, that is the story. I had an interview scheduled with my agent. I knew I was having an interview. I knew going into the interview, like I was just thinking it would be a normal interview, and then on the interview to hear that information come from a complete stranger was definitely triggering. Was definitely nerve shocking because it's just like, how are you to tell me that? Like, it's like, and no offense against him at all. He's just doing his job, but definitely that sent me in a state of mind, in a state of emotional panic, if anything. And still knowing that even though I'm here, I still have to go out and put on a performance for my dream, go out there and still compete to what it is. So yes, definitely triggered, and from there just blinded by emotions, blinded by sadness, blinded by just hiding hurt, honestly. For the fact that I know that I can't hide myself. So at least in some type of way, I was just trying to hide my pain.
All right. So that's the whole clip right there. So there was a lot of mixed reactions on Twitter, because that's mainly where I kept seeing it at. It was a lot of mixed reactions on Twitter about how this came about and how they felt it should have been dealt with. You had some people that said she knew what she did was wrong, and it is what it is. Better luck in 4 years, which will be the next time that the Olympics will happen. Mind you, she's 21, so she's still young, so she still has a lot of physical endurance in her. So the next time she goes, she'll be 25, or maybe still be 24. I don't know when her birthday is. And then you had other people saying that this is some bullshit because it was weed, and weed is on the banned list for drugs or enhancements, even though weed is not a drug enhancer. And you keep trying to tell these people on social media that it is not, and people want to act like they have never smoked weed a day in their life. Anybody who can tell you, who has smoked weed in their life, can tell you that does not enhance you in any way. Weed usually is something that takes you to just like another place, and usually some weed does different things with different people depending on your tolerance. Like, for me, when I did it, because I'll be honest, I haven't smoked weed in years. The last time I did was probably a couple days before I graduated college, and that was back in 2011. That's how long it's been. And for me, it just relaxed me. It relaxed me. It did not make me want to go do laps around the building at top speed like I was goddamn Sonic the Hedgehog. But people want to act like weed is some kind of enhancement drug, and it's not. You want to know what's so crazy? Guess what's not on the drug ban list as far as qualifications for the Olympics? Alcohol. So that means you can drink wine, you can drink liquor, you can drink beer. And if you was to test positive or anything like that, and liquor came up in your test, you could still perform. Yes, if you have alcohol in your system, no matter at what level it may be. I hope you're not dumb enough to go there like pissy drunk, but if you had alcohol in your system, they would not suspend you. Yeah, Lexi, she found out from a reporter that her mom had died. And her mom died like what, a couple weeks ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't that far back. So yeah, like she was in a depressive state. And I think she said not only because she found out her mom died, but it's the way she found out too. A reporter told her that her mom died. She didn't even have the opportunity to find out that her mom had died from a family member. If y'all remember seeing that video after she had did her run and she ran into the stands and went to see her grandmother and gave her grandmother a hug, that was around the time after she had found out her mom had died. And to also add on to some shady stuff that's going on with the Olympics, because if y'all remember, I did a video talking about how in the Olympics this year they said that don't wear any apparel that says BLM, right? Well, now let's add on to that. And I'm going to actually do a separate video about this, but I'm kind of giving y'all a teaser now. There's this black-owned company that makes caps for swimmers because they have a pretty decent roster of black swimmers this year for swimmers. And we know black hair, our hair is different. We have locks, braids, curly, kinky, coarse, thick hair. And the caps that they give out for the swimmers are not conducive a lot of times for our head. So this company named Soul Cap, this is called Soul Cap. They made it so it could be comfortable and fit on mainly melanated people's heads. Well, I will have you to know that the Olympics committee banned that particular brand from being used. So now the black swimmers have to wear those extra tight caps and squeeze them onto their head in order to swim in the competition. That's all I'm going to say about that. When I put the video up on my main channel, you'll get the full description about it, because I really go into how that actually hurt their business and how that could have gained them a lot of business, but this actually kind of hindered it at the same time. But I'm gonna go into that on my main channel because I already made the video and everything. I just need to upload it. But that was the last story of the day. So I'm about to head up off of here. I'm glad everybody came through. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to everybody who liked. Shout out to everybody who shared the link on their social media platforms to get as many eyes as we could in here. Of course, we'll be back at it tomorrow on the main channel. 3 videos a day, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the next one.